Oh, hi there. This is Clarion Clarkewoode, a servant, not a master builder, a sinner saved by grace and a work in progress. My life is a summary and an exhibition of the great grace of God that's actively at work in everything I do. My thinking, my breathing, my living, my moving, everything is underwritten, and it's a description of the very great grace of God that is actively at work in my life. I'm also a UK-based international gospel recording artist and also a church music development consultant. By grace, my musical influence has spanned and revolutionized many church bodies and organizations across the globe, including the USA, the UK, Zambia, Australia, Switzerland, Denmark, Ghana, obviously, so many other countries. And I thank God for that opportunity and the many great men of God that make that happen. I'm so grateful to you all. 2014, my maiden gospel album was nominated for 2 international awards. To God be the glory. Here in the UK by GAMIA for Best Praise and Worship Song, and the UK Black Essence Award as well. And I thank God for all that and the many other ones that are on the way coming. My song Last Minute God is very deep. It's very deep and it's very personal. And the more people listening to it and they're sending me comments, I realize that we are all from the human race. We maybe have the same commonality in the struggles and the challenges, and how God pulls one through difficult time, last minute when all hope is lost, where faith is almost crushed and hope is dissolving like snow, and God comes through and pulls a wild card, and he said, look, it's to prove to you I never leave, I never forsake the people who love me, and I love them. Last minute God, if I have to talk about it, I'll go on and on and on and on and on about it, but it is just for you to know that God is the Alpha and Omega and everything in between. He said, I'll never leave nor forsake, and God has proven time and again, times when there was no meal on the there was no meal on the table, kids growing up, and then in times when there were almost no clothes on our body, God miraculously will come and pull the wild card. That is when I was growing up as a child. How about when I grew up? Listen, I'm here today talking to you. It's a proof of the last minute God's power at work, sustaining and holding me through the challenging times. As a teenager, I did some crazy stuff. Drugs, all forms, women, thievery. Oh God, so many things that much as I'm ashamed of, I am unapologetic about them, because it's a revelation of the great grace that will climb every mountain, knock down every wall in pursuit of me. Today I sit back and I watch how God miraculously sustained and kept me through my teenage years, through all those bad things I was doing. Some of the friends I did with died in the process. Why was my life spared? Maybe it's a reason. Reasons for me to testify about God's great grace. That just like the song says, there's no mountain he won't climb up, valley he won't go through, wall he won't knock down, shadow he won't disperse coming after me. So in all my musical career, I'm also an author. I write books. In all my music and my authorship, book writing, I keep Jesus the subjective genitive and the objective genitive. That is to say, that Jesus become the object and the subject of my songs and the content I write, the inspirational materials I post on social media. Jesus is at the heart of everything, because for me, Jesus is everything. I could and should have been dead, sleeping in my grave many years ago, but His grace kept me. I see myself like a type of Paul who was into ministry and then into construction, building. I also engage in building works here in the UK. I love construction. Anyway, my third degree is in engineering, so I like construction. I like the building industry. And even on the jobs I go to, sometimes you bid for a contract and you have more stronger potentials who look like they're going to win, and then Client will call you and say, hey, you won the offer. Last minute. You know, God's been amazing. And like I was saying earlier, if I'm to look back over my life, I think God's grace has overworked its time in my life. So when I became found of the Lord and I had a radical transformation, I decided I'm going to be crazy for Jesus. And by God's grace, I have been. I have not been perfect. I made mistakes along the line, but that did not erode my craziness for Jesus and to be talking about Jesus. So if you're watching right now and you're in a struggle with drugs, women, stealing, and doing bad stuff, listen, you are not alone. Someone has been there and done all of that for you. Stop it today. Give your life to Christ and see the difference He makes in your life. You become a testimony. You become a mouthpiece for God like He's made me. I come from a heavily idol worshipping background. I could have been a fetish priest by now. But grace, last minute, found my mother, saved my mother, transformed my mother. My mother pulled away from those idol worshipping stuff. Then God made her conceive me. And that's how the transformation began. So my birth, like I told you earlier, was even last minute. So when I sing this song, first and the last, Alpha Omega, never too late, always on time, who can compare? Who can explain your works and your ways? You're the last minute God. Last minute God, miracle worker. Last minute God, He will never fail me. Or Yehudimafo means He's a counselor. He's a spokesperson. Or Yokomafo means He's a fighter. He deliverer. He fights on our behalf. He's my last minute God. He's your last minute God. I know you listen and you can identify with sections of my story. How God has come through for you last minute. So if you're watching and you're on any form of challenges in your life, listen, you're not alone. I've been there, done there, got a t-shirt. God will pull you through. Just keep your faith, have your hope and love in Christ Jesus, and He'll get you out of all the tentacles, all the claws of the enemy. The ones the enemy wants you to destroy your life, Jesus will pull you through. Last minute, He'll pull you through like He did for me. Be encouraged. Let this song encourage you. God will come through in your marriage, in your childbearing. You might have been declared barren, but God will come through for you last minute. Looking for a job, God will come through last minute. You know, family, friends have deserted you. God is your best friend ever. He will come through last minute. All right? All men and women may leave, but God will remain with you. He will be there. He's the last minute God when all hope is lost. Not just when all is lost. From beginning to the end, He is. And He will always be there for you. I know what challenges you're facing today as you watch this program. And I need you to understand that there's a last minute God. His name is Jesus. He's there with arms wide open, waiting to help you out and to pull you through and to let you know that you are loved, you are cared for. I died. Jesus died for you and I. Embrace the last minute God. I recommend the last minute God. I suggest the last minute God to you. Break away from every other worshipping of any other idol or God with a small g. Come to the real God, the last minute God. He will help you out like He's done before.